just been cleaning up. If anyone's there, if not, I do apologise, but I had to take the little pies out of the oven. Mel, hello. It's buffering. Do apologise. I've been important and busy. It buffered the other night as well. You haven't been to bed. Well, that's not such a bad thing. You shall sleep well when you do sleep. I just made lamb and vegetable curry pies out of leftovers. And Mel, I went to the supermarket. People are hoarding pastry. The only thing that was left was filo pastry. So I thought, I'll go to the IGA. No, only thing left there, filo pastry. So now toilet paper's not a problem, but pastry is. I just wonder what they're using it for. We just had one pie each, and it was yum. Here comes the boss. Mel's there. Well, I think she's there. I never know if she's there actually. Sometimes she is, sometimes she's not. It's been a while since I made pastry.
Yeah.
But you don't forget like riding a horse. Thin crust pie. Hello, Adam. Good to see you. Oh, we just finished them. They were yum. I just put a bit of musselman curry into lamb and vegetable soup mix, strained it. So it was mild curry, wasn't it? It wasn't a lot of curry, but it was mild.
Yeah.
But waste not, want not. I couldn't get any bloody pastry anywhere, so I had to make my own. Hello, Patty. Who's that? William.
Just a little bit of trying to do a romantic dinner, but Sophia interrupted.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so people are hoarding pastry. I wonder if it's the same in the US. Just imagine these people holding on to bundles of toilet paper and pastry, saying, it's mine, it's all mine. Alex and the block has motivated you this morning. It sounds like you're going to pick up a hammer, put on a tube weld, and do something. Be careful, you know, if you start something, it just gets bigger than Ben-Hur. Yeah, you got to think positive. Sounds good. I can only do so much. Well, my shoulder's been out all week. Adam, on the outside of the second bedroom window, there was a lot of work to do, a lot of repair, drilling, chipping away, putty, scraping, sanding, painting, you know what I mean. And I was stretching a lot. And the next day, my shoulder joint, my rotor cuff basically, man, it was sore. It's not too bad today, but it's, every now and then I go to lift something, you know, go to grab something, go, oh, ow, that sort of pain. It's called age. In the middle of the evil empire. I think America's great. I just think the people running it are crazy. Yeah, I've never stopped working as such. I probably pace myself. I would do, in the middle of this build, I might do 7, 8 hours work, but I get up at 5. Hello, old Ringo. Worked till about 11 because it was really hot this summer. and then I do a few hours in the evening. So, and also that means I had a fair rest between doing it. Well, Australia's got 7 state territories, and I think 4 states today had 0 contractions of the virus, 0 people passed away. So we're pretty pleased about all that. It's not, I think what it is, and I'm going to tell you something, Adam, and I'm not a guru, but I can tell you, it took you a long time to get where you are now. So I'm proud of you. You've got to make yourself stronger and do things and whatever. But just remember, it's going to take time. At the end of this week, you don't go, how come my 6-pack is not showing? I'm destroyed. No. It takes a long time to get where you are. It takes a long time to get it back. But there's no harm in doing it, that's for sure. You end up being trim, taut, and terrific, and the playboy of the town. Of our apartment complex, we had 5 car break-ins this past weekend. We checked the videos, but they all had masks. Yeah, that's the problem, Paddy. People walk into a bank now, and they all wear masks. I think you'll find you can twist any statistic you like, Gringo. But the fact is, we've just about got it beat here. Statisticians love playing with figures and numbers. But the truth of the matter is, the US doesn't look that good to me. I keep hearing people wanting to get back too early. It's crazy. You know my opinion on it. Mel's going to bed. Good night,
Yeah.
Mel. Yeah, I don't know if banks are fully open. I think they might actually increase their ATMs. I think that might happen a lot in a lot of banks. Instead of walking in and seeing a consultant, you may have to do it by phone. And getting money out maybe through an ATM. I think we've lost 74 people in Australia. And that's sad in itself. But the figure, I imagine, could have been a lot higher. Yeah, I think, you know, some of these things, Paddy, are going to be matter of fact. It's what it will be. There'll be dots on the floor in banks. You'll have to distance yourself. I think they'll encourage more people to use ATMs. They may, you know, put more ATMs in.
Oh, she wouldn't have blocked you, Adam. No, these streams have been playing up actually.
I think what it is, Gringo, is that, and I'm not knocking Americans in general. Some are stupid, I'll give you the tip. But Australia took it pretty serious from the word go. Like, we stopped sending our kids to school before they said stop sending your kids to school. We sort of stayed home before they told us to stay home. And most of our deaths are people who came off cruise ships. It's just horrendous. You know, that's been our main supply, sadly. The contagion on board a ship spread terribly quickly, and we lost a lot of people. They weren't just Australians, by the way. They were like tourists on board, Americans, Germans, French, but they died in Australia, so they're counted in our mortality rate. We recorded our same death the same day the US did. It happened at the same time, but that's mainly because of transport, obviously. We shut everything down very rapidly, though. There is no international flights, no domestic flights, no movement between states, and even further, no movement between districts. Okay, still go out, go to the shop, go to the chemist, or drugstore as you call it. You can go to a hardware store, you can go for a walk, but nothing other than that is open. But we will open soon. And because basically no one's really contracting the virus. The biggest day this week's been, I think, 11 in the whole of Australia. And we do lots of testing. That is the key, there's no doubt about that. You can't really judge the numbers unless you test a multitude of people. I did say a few weeks ago, though, the anger would rise. You could see riots on the street of America, but not looting. That might, like I said, that may happen. But it's just anger and frustration. Well, they haven't got violent yet, which is good, but they are certainly on the streets. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Paddy. You have every right to be cautious. Being anxious doesn't help you, of course, because it really just keeps you on edge all the time. But like I say, you've just got to play this smart. Whatever the rules are in your countries, wherever you are in the world, play your own rules. And I'm sure you're doing that, Paddy. What I'm saying is that, they might say everything's open again, good. But if you're not sure, just stay home. Just be smart. Because the one thing I fear, particularly for countries, and Singapore's just started their second wave, and Singapore were recognised for their efficiency in tracing, testing and all that, but they opened too early. And now they're having thousands of cases a day. If that's not an example for the rest of the world, I don't know what is. Believe me, Singapore is far more efficient in their processing than Australia. They have a magnificent medical system, but if your country opens up, or the state you're in, or the county you're in, you do whatever you like, but I would err on caution. If you're not sure, just do what you've been doing. A few months out of our lives is not a big deal. Now, when you think about the consequences of what could happen, I do not know how the US would survive economically, let alone more deaths. If a second wave hit, it would be catastrophic. So I wish everyone there well, but I ask, like I say, everyone to err on the side of caution. Just be smart. If you don't have to go out, don't. If you don't have to get your groceries because they can be delivered, get them delivered. You decide. You're hearing governors and you're hearing the president talk about opening up and strategies and stages of doing it. You do your own stages. You do your own strategy. Just because someone's saying something, but if you're still not sure, let me tell you how I work my life. My gut instinct's always been pretty good to me, and we have no deaths in my state. We have no one contracted the virus, but we're not going out yet. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of people use the system, Paddy, but you need to carte blanche cover everyone, and if there's a few mongrels in amongst it, you have to wear that, sadly. But they'd be the same mongrels in a normal system. So this is probably the most important time right now. Everyone is not happy. Everyone has been doing the right thing. Everyone is frustrated and anxious and annoyed, and let's be honest, some people need to work to get money. Not everyone is covered in the US. So I understand all of that. But the nation should be able to be fed, should be laws to protect people from being evicted. And if we have to do a little bit more of hunkering down, like I say, a few months out of your life is nothing if it's the right thing to do. But anyway, let's talk about my lamb and vegetable curry pies. They were bloody magnificent. What do you reckon?
Yep.
They were awesome. I haven't made pastry for about 5 years because I went to the supermarket. Everyone's hoarding pastry. I don't get it. I think this month and May are probably the most important. I really do. The outcome of being a little bit gregarious and going back early may make people pay a huge price.
Where's Adam gone? We lost him.
Don't know, he's probably exercising. Dumbbells, push-ups, running. Let's get into shape. Did you hear a muzzy?
Yeah.
The attack of the mozzies. You just sprayed my foot.
Oh, well, I won't bite your foot now.
That's true. I think,
Coffee.
I think, Paddy, what it is not, we are all in the same boat, if you know what I mean, but there are a lot of people, and I see I watch NBC, ABC, and other networks online of the US, and there are people who need money. They're hungry. And your government sent out one check for $1,200. That's ridiculous. Look, I mean, I would even say, look, don't even send out money. Just send a heap of food. Send big trucks around the neighbourhoods. Let's feed the people.
So no spelling mistakes, hey Adam?
Yeah, he's got a new...
Well, second
he's got a good keyboard. Yeah, if people want to Google Singapore and the second wave, you'll see what I mean. They are a very efficient country on everything they do. And they thought it was okay to go back. And now it's terrible. So that is a great example. Like I say, if you've ever been to Singapore, they're clean, neat, tidy, efficient, everything you can mention. Quite a wealthy country, great medical facilities, and they made a boo-boo, going back too early. So if you follow that timeline and compare it to where you live, then you'll understand why I'm saying to err on the side of caution. Anyway, what have you all been up to today? Been cooking? Have you been making pies? Happy 150th birthday, Vladimir Lenin. Yeah, he was a bit of a strange one. He actually started it all, we all know. Stalin just picked it up. And if you wanted to, you can go and see him. He still looks the same as he did the day he died.
What?
He's embalmed on is on display.
Why?
Because he was the father that changed Russia's future. Got rid of the family, you know, the king, the queen, and all the children. Yep, I would suggest that you're smart, Paddy. You'll work this out. Like I say, no matter what the state or county you live in says is happening, you don't have to play. Well, yeah, there's a great need for people who've got nothing. And the temperature tonight is 19.6 degrees Celsius, which is okay. Wife's wearing a dressing gown, but I'm not. Took my jumper off because I was cooking. But a drop or two in temperature, I will be whacking her on. Yeah, before you got here, Mel said that she finished night shift and hadn't been to sleep.
Yeah.
So she'll crash tonight, for sure. Yeah, that's probably true, Gringo, but there's another reason why there's a bit more money being filtered out, and that is people will spend it. So that means restaurants, pizza places, the money's going to be out there in the economy. So at least, even though they're very small wheels, the economy is turning. Yeah, that's the same here. I told you some of the labourers that I had do odd jobs around, they were getting paid $25 an hour, and I thought in 1982 I was getting $25 an hour. The cost of living has increased exponentially, but the wage system has not matched. So people manage to live off less but work harder today. I think we're all pretty tired of being little hamsters on wheels where other people make money and no one makes any extra for themselves. Oh, look, I don't know what you should pay these frontline workers. Say my daughter and her partner, he's an AMBO, they work in the medical industry. I don't know what you could do for them. I see something silly like national medals being handed out, but there's a lot of people that have died, nurses, doctors, health assistants, you name it. It's like one of the things that I said about a month ago. One group of people that no one seems to think or thank is the garbage guys. They're doing their job, and they're picking up bits and pieces that would, for sure, have the virus on.
Oh, they've got to be contained properly.
But no one talks about them.
Yeah, same as cleaners.
Yeah, that's just being smart, Gringo. I think if you think of it as the year the world stood still. Okay. That's 1 year out of my life. It's not too bad.
Probably wouldn't hurt to pack your own anyway, Gringo.
Just put some in your car, mate. Put a carton of water in the back of your car. When you need one, just go grab one. But you're fortunate to be in the job you are. There's a little bit of contact. I understand what you do, but nowhere near the contact of other people still working. So that's good. That means you're protected a lot more than others. It's like in the UK, there's been a lot of bus drivers die. Just the peripheral people, a lot of people don't think of. But I did give statistics yesterday. I did research. I asked Buttercup, she's got a sore back at the moment, so we may not see her tonight. But I did ask if she could check out the same thing I'm going to check out, and I did. In a 6-month period in Australia, normally 1,800 people will die of the viral or bacterial flu, normal flu, influenza. So 1,800 in 6 months. Well, for the last 6 months, 50 people have died. That's a staggering difference. And we've only had 74 COVID deaths. So even if you add them together, that's 124. That's nowhere near 1,800. I think social distancing is also preventing people catching colds, the normal flu. So that would be a good statistic in the future to see how influenza has reduced in numbers because people continue to practice social distancing. Just common sense. It's not a great difference than normal, but it will be different. How we shop, how we go down to places. Maybe we'll have to wait outside for say you're getting something from the drugstore, you might have to wait outside and they'll come and bring it to you. That's okay. Time to get ready for work. You be safe, be careful, and have a good day, Patty. You're welcome. You're not alone. One of our major airlines has gone bust in Australia. We only have 2 major airlines and one of them has gone under. But the hawks and the vultures are flying around to see what bones they can pick out of it, of course. It may resurrect, but it'll be different for sure. But no one's using any gas here. Everyone's staying at home. As you can see, the oil price, no one using any of it. They're going to pay you to take it off their hands. And like I say, it doesn't matter whether it's cheap and deflation kicks in on lots of products. People aren't spending. But it's just a matter of time. I'll do a little video on the weekend of the garden. Hello, Tony. Garden's going all right. Fruit trees are in. Lawn's going berserk. Mowed it 2 days ago and I'm pretty sure I've got to mow it again tomorrow. That's not what I bargained for. But we are getting there. Air conditioners are in, reverse cycle. And last night I tested the one. We had to put ours on the outside wall. We couldn't bring it so it's not facing us. But I just tested it, and actually the vent goes all the way down, so I just had the fan on gently, and that was good. So it worked out okay. Only 15 kilowatt today. Very cloudy most of the day though. But that's okay. Ordered the wife a big fold-out clothesline, the ones that attach to the wall. That's what she wanted. And I got myself a little garden shed coming, 3 metres by 3 metres, but I made it 2.4 metres high. I hate low sheds. When you walk in them, you've got to duck your head, don't like that. So it's 8 foot high. So what did you all have for dinner? Even though some of you it's breakfast time. What did you have for dinner last night? Wonder what Tony had. Probably had caviar, I'd reckon. Yeah, there's a few videos like that, Gringo, where it says Americans try English food, vice versa. Fried rice, that's always a good go-to. Can of ravioli, ooh, living the luxury life. I've had that on occasions. It's not the worst thing you can get out of a tent, let's be honest. You'd have to have a couple of bits of toast with it though, I think. You can make ravioli pretty easy. Mind you, I'm lazy. Like I said, the first time I've made pastry in 5 years tonight. Because everyone's bloody pouring at stuff. It's weird. My daughter-in-law got all excited today. She got 2 raised garden beds like I have, and she's placed some veggies in there, and the granddaughter's all excited, and it's good. She is washing up. I'll give you live coverage. Look, you just see little princess in her domain. And by the way, I do wash as well. She never gets a dirty plate, pan at all, because I will either clean it and wash it up myself, or I will rinse it, so it's very easy to clean. We don't have a dishwasher, and we never want a dishwasher. I don't like dishwashers. But I washed up last night, big heap of stuff, and she's doing it tonight. When we see stuff, we just do it. Like if I need to sweep the floor or mop the floor because I think it needs doing, I just do it. That's the best way to do it, I think. She likes to do the clothes washing, but I do all the cooking. Though she can cook, trust me, she's a very good cook. And on occasion, she'll just make something. We're getting a lot more birds coming now. It's good this time of year. I think this time next year the apple trees will be a bit bigger, and so will the citrus trees. And we're waiting on a peach tree. We both like peaches. It's not right season to get them yet. Another couple of weeks we'll get one. They're all dwarfs, even though they'll still be 6 to 8 feet tall. They're not going to be 100-footers. Sounds good. Afternoon walks. Nice bit of sun. Bit nice. Sorry?
I heard you. What amount of dishes did you do last night?
I did all of them. I did all of the dishes last night. Would you like me to videotape what I do during the day and then videotape what you do during the day? And we'll run a comparison, and we'll have an unbiased group of people to judge.
Judge for me.
Yeah, right.
You'll just have to retract those links.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Links, Gringo, because they're not YouTube links.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got to take those links out.
Sorry, Gringo.
You can put them in, but you got to whip them out apparently.
Yeah, so put them in, and then as soon as we've looked at them, you've got to take them out again. YouTube do not like links that are not YouTube. But I did have a quick look at the sandals.
I was also saying that if I just see the floor, if I think it needs cleaning, I clean it. Yes? I do all of the windows and doors.
Yes, you're the window person.
That's why my arm is shattered. Cheers, Gringo. It's still cold. It's 19 degrees Celsius here, whatever that is. It's cool, but not too cold here. I expect some of you are going to be throwing in some veggies in the garden, tomatoes, chilies, that time of year for you guys. Get your pumpkins in now, watermelons, squash. That's cold. Yeah, you got to make sure you don't get that frost. I think worse than starting off a heap of seedlings, forgetting one night when the frost comes in. The next day, you're just seeing brown stuff. Similar to Korea's. Okay. Ours is similar to the surface of the sun. It's the best way to describe it, really. Yeah, I've had that mistake. Lived in a place where we never get frost, and bang, 3-week-old seedlings that look really good, starting to get a bit of gone. Anything that survives, and those things are things like root vegetables, carrots, beetroot, turnip, rutabaga. They all just they can take the frost, but not the stuff that grows on top of the ground. They did that in the Middle Ages, actually, where they didn't just rely on grain crops and things. They started growing a lot of root vegetables in Britain in general, and they could survive famines better because at least the root vegetables were always there, even middle of winter, snow all over them. Little Korea. I'm pretty sure Korea is a temperate climate, but they get snow on occasions. We don't. The best way to grow it is to get a couple of, or even 3, doesn't matter, get 3 seeds, because in each seed they're clusters. It's not just a beetroot, by the way. You could have 4, 5, 6 or 7, but you plant 3 seeds in the ground about the depth of your fingernail, best way to describe it to you, and then just pinch the top of soil on top, and do it just imagine how big beetroot will be when they grow. And that's the best way to space them. So if you think it's going to be about a 3-inch beetroot, well, leave another 3 inches in between of bare soil and then do some more. But don't just plant 1 seed, plant 2 or 3. You can always pinch them out and you can eat beetroot leaves. They're quite delicious. If you get beetroots growing, and you can literally cut half the leaves off each beetroot and make a salad, put them in a stir fry, and it'll keep growing. Beetroots are very resilient. It's like broccoli. A lot of people, they just take the broccoli, the head. You can eat the leaves, the stem. In some specialty restaurants, the stem is actually a delicacy. Fairly neutral, just a lot of shit. Most of my garden bed's always 50% manure, 50% compost. Or if you've got soil, the only thing you've got to worry about is clay soils. You've got to add a lot of fibre to it. Really, you've got to break it up. So each year, if you've got a fairly clay soil, what you do is you put a lot of mulch in between the rows. And so when you fold over the rows, you're folding heavier soil on top of mulch. That starts to break down the soil, and then you've got to trench the next year, do the same. It takes about 7 years for bad garden soil to become good. It's just a time process. And you can throw seaweed in those trenches, more manure, doesn't matter. But if you've got, like I say, mulch, that really does help the soil. But mulch is only good for a year. And then it just becomes fibre. It loses all its nutrients. A lot of people put mulch all around their plants and think, yeah, that's good, I'll leave it there for 10 years. No, it's just fibre after 12 months.
It breaks down.
Well, it breaks down a bit, but it's got no nutrients in it. So you can just dig that into the soil. It's like your spring onions. A lot of people will plant one seed every, say, 2 inches. Don't do that. Plant about 8 or 9 seeds in the one hole. Same thing, about a fingernail depth, cover it over. What happens, they all grow up as a bunch. Commercially, that's how they grow them. In the field, you see 8 or 9 onions in a bunch. They pull them off, shake them off, wrap elastic band around them, and sell them. So that's how they grow. And they're stronger for it too. Otherwise, they've got a fairly strong base with, 7, 8, 9 plants growing at the same time. That sounds like a great future. That's the future of mankind, gringo. Wah, 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 wah. What's that? Speaking of eggs cooking, be
Fries
quiet.
and bacon.
See you later, Tony.
See you, Tony. He said egg and tomato. Well, you'll be picking up heaps of deer poo, Adam. That's so little. He's going to mix that in his soil.
Yeah, look, I mean, if nothing, you just build your soil up by the talking. If I'm buffering.
It's been bad the last couple of nights. I didn't restart it. You might have to go to 4G.
I'll see what happens. Can anyone hear me?
There's sometimes after
This is Australia calling.
after the
Hello?
internet's been off for a while, and then back on, it tends to do this. I might have to just reset it tomorrow.
Okay. I just think there's a lot of people using bandwidth more than normal.
Oh, it's stopped now.
Yeah, layers of soil. And every 3 or 4 years, because I know you've got a patch of garden there, you can actually just turn it all over the opposite way. If you've got a cultivator, if you've got a shovel, a fork. But the more shit, the better. I mean, I get pulverised cow manure, which is like 2 or 3 years in it as well. So my raised garden bed are 50% cow manure and 50% compost. And then I'll just keep adding mulch and adding nutrients as the time goes by.
Put the it's song from YouTube in.
That's the one. Wow, 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 wow. Good movie, that. Yeah, gardening's good. It's good reward. And tomatoes are a great reward as well.
Oh yeah, chicken poop can do that.
You've got to basically, if you do get fresh manure, here's the tip for you, Adam. This coming winter, have a pile of manure like you wouldn't imagine. Big as ever, 5, 6 feet tall. And then just before winter hits, you cover it with a big tarp. Put stones around the outside if you like. and leave it all winter.
What if you mix some grass clippings with it?
You can if you want to. It just speeds up the process, and this huge activity starts happening within the pile. Yeah, that's true. It's about the same height as a B-class van driver. But yeah, the old tarp method in cold countries works really good. Why? Because it actually builds up heat.
Yeah, yeah.
All the bacteria go to work, breaking down. Worms come from everywhere. So big tarp over a big pile of crap. Whatever you want to throw in that pile of crap, make sure it's at least 50% manure though.
And no onions.
Grass clippings, whatever you like. No bananas or onion skins. Onions will break down, but not onion skins. Onion skins last forever.
Buffering again.
Well, I do know, and this is a fact, because my grandfather used to do it. My grandfather could feed a family of 5 well and neighbours with a 20-foot by 20-foot garden. You'd always have different height carrots from, succession planting. You'd have one's ready to eat, one's nearly ready to eat, one's just starting, beetroot, potatoes. He had everything. And he grew a ton of food in 400 square feet. And it seems small, but, and the beauty of a garden, when you get on top of it, you don't have to spend more than 15, 20 minutes a day on it. Just go around, pick a few weeds out, throw them on the compost heap, have a look, oh, bit of soil come away there, stack it back up. If you've got potatoes, just do a little bit of mound every week, doesn't take long. So a garden, when established, does not take much maintenance. But he could feed 5 people, fill their bellies from a 20 by 20 foot garden.
Grow potatoes in tyres. Just keep piling the tyres on top and dirt. We could do that.
What's that?
Grow potatoes in tyres.
You could do, but I ain't doing it.
I'm just saying,
Because it's messy as hell.
oh, it's not that bad.
You can just do it in a box if you want to. The potatoes, they give away here. Why would I grow potatoes? It's like carrots. Seriously, we get a 25-pound bag of potatoes, $3. 25-pound bag of carrots, $3. 25-pound bag of onions, $3. I'm growing spring onion and salad red onions because the wife likes those.
Yeah, red onions.
But not the normal onions. Or I've got carrots just for the grandkids to pick out, wash and eat, from the garden.
And Terry.
And yeah, we'll tell them that they're for the kids.
Yeah,
But
because he just...
Gringo says, did you get his email?
Yes, I did. Yes, I was stuck. I've got everybody's emails and I haven't actually emailed them.
Actually, they're quite mild. There's different types of red onions. These are mild red onion. I can eat raw onions all day. But the secret of growing any food is to prioritise the food you normally eat. Like people that grow artichokes and think, I say, do you eat them? I go, no, I just want to see how the plant goes. Really?
See, I prefer red onions than brown or white onions, Adam.
I'll give you another little tip, and it works a treat every time. You want to cut up some onions? Say you want to cut 3 onions up. Put them in a bag, throw them in the freezer for 40 minutes, about 40 minutes. They won't freeze, but when you take them out and cut them up, they won't sting you. But there's been a big interest with people being locked away in their homes to grow food in Australia, and that's a bonus, that's a plus. Yeah, chuck them in the freezer for half an hour to 40 minutes. Just give it a go. You'll see what I mean. They don't freeze, and they're just easy to work with. They don't sting you in the eye.
Wear glasses.
It never worries me. You sometimes have to walk away, don't you?
Yeah. I still like red onions. And wipe your hands with a potato peel to get rid of the smell.
Yeah.
I would just peel a potato and it helps.
I've got to organise some sort of compost box. Going to have grass clippings. I'll do grass clippings that dry, grass clippings that are green, and then put the dry on, food waste.
So you're going to get a bin or you're going to...
I might make one. I might get some limestone blocks and make one. It just needs to be turned over. Footy cat email reply.
Yeah, because they put a picture of a cat in there. Yeah, we like cats
Yeah, we'll get one.
too.
Two apparently.
And so I have to add all these emails onto your email when you start doing your talk so that you have to send the links to them.
What are you talking about?
Like I've got everybody's emails, but I was a bit slack and hadn't sent.
Oh yeah, no, I need the email to contact
Yes,
them to do
so
the
I've
talks.
got the
Yeah.
emails.
Yep.
I just hadn't sent everyone one. Then you have to add it.
A bit of Lou trying to grow onions since the soil here is crap. Do you think I could get away with a few garlic? I don't want to waste my time. Your generally rule for garlic is, and I'm about to plant mine, you plant it in the coldest time of the year and you harvest it in the hottest time of the year. That's an old rule of thumb. If you have a shorter summer, obviously you might have to pick them near the end of summer. But that's the old rule. Normally they take 7 to 8 months for a good harvest. And when you know garlic is ready is that you normally have 7 or 8 tendrils growing up and 3 or 4 start dying away. That's when you pull out your garlic. You don't leave it any longer because you want that moisture in the actual bulb. And then I plaid mine. I plaid them up, hang them up, and then they're good for 2 years whenever I want to pull a bit of garlic off.
But Adam's coming to the end of his coldest. So he
Yeah, so garlic's not something I'd plant now there.
No, you got to wait till next year, Adam, for your garlic.
Yeah, well, you could always do one thing which is done in the Northern Hemisphere is to have an indoor box during winter facing south for you, obviously for the sun. And you could grow 40 or 50 garlic in there early before the cold ends. You know what I'm saying? Like a month or two, middle of winter basically. As long as they get that sun, they're near a window, you keep them moist. They'll probably be about 7, 8 inches tall by the time you plant them out in the garden. Or you can just keep growing them in that container.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you don't have to have a big one for garlic, do you?
No, not really. No, you can, like I've got a wine barrel, half a wine barrel, and if I just planted garlic in there, I could probably plant 80 to 100 bulbs.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the depth as well. You don't need a real big one, eh?
Yes, this is a membership-only side chat.
It's $100 to join. That's Australian dollars, by the way.
I am going to the toilet. Mr. Angel is in charge.
Oh, God. Oh, see those legs? And there's no women here to look at his legs. Oh, gotta stop yawning. But he still is not well. I think she overdid it in the garden a couple of days ago. She's hurt her back. Yeah, now that he's gone. So who's Alexa from the block? Do you mean the TV show? That princess. Come on, I'm not the queen. That film makes me feel too old. I was the princess. special window video is in the process of being made. Yep, that's better. Yes, that's it, Adam. You got it. Yep, so Mel has gone to bed because she finished night shift, so she's tired. Danny's working. That's better, Cello. Buddy's got a very sore back, so we all got to send her healing. Buddy.
Is Bucky there?
No, she's still not well. She's
Yeah,
got a
sore
really
back.
bad back. He's back, people, so stop crawling to me now. Come on. No, Chimo, you haven't overdone it. That's good. But just not Queen anymore. It's Princess. Because Queen sounds too old.
I'm back. You can say what you like. Each of us are individuals. There are no rules to what you should be able to say. Unless you're talking about fig leaves or something like that.
Yeah.
Or windows.
Yeah, I already said while you were gone. I said the special window video is in the making.
No, it's not.
When the curtains get put up, he's going to be watching another window video.
Is he?
Yes.
Because you're going to do it.
He's got to see that the windows are covered.
Well, you won't see them then, because they'll be covered.
But I will open and close the curtain.
You'll shock him. He'll go into defibrillation. Clear.
Yeah, I'll open and close the curtain.
Morning, King Shamo. Buenos dias. Or buenas noches. I'm saying good morning and good evening.
Oh,
Or good night.
I'll say nachos.
Yeah, nachos works.
Oh, not as many trains tonight.
Nope.
Notice that?
¿Cómo está? I'm good, thank you. Oh, you're asking old Gringo. Bony nachos. Was that Bonnie?
Yeah.
Buen dia, Portuguese? No, it's Spanish. Pretty sure that's what Shamo was doing. Could be Portuguese.
Bon dia. Bon dia.
Yeah, I have. For me, fish and tacos. I know people love them, but
no.
they don't go together.
I've heard
me.
people no.
Love fish, love tacos.
But not, no. Same as I don't, fish soup. Ugh. Fish soup, fish stew, no. Same as, what's that thing that they chuck everything in a big pot?
Chowder.
Yeah, is that the same as the one that starts with G?
What?
Gumbo or something?
No, gumbo is different. Though they can throw fish and crab and alligator and that as well.
Oh, that's not good, Adam.
What's that?
He lost a family member to alcoholism 10 days ago.
Yeah, that's no good. That's a big problem around the world, of course, alcoholism. I mean, I've known a few alcoholics in my time. I just could not drink the amount of liquor that some people are able to drink every day, like bottle of scotch, bottle of red wine,
Flagon.
you know, 3-4 litres of wine. It's like, I just couldn't do it. Only controllable by the person who is the alcoholic. You can lead people, but you can't force them. And it takes a bit of inner strength to break its habits. It's like people will come home and have 3 or 4 scotches, have a shower, get on the computer, have 3 or 4 more. Before they know it, they've knocked half a bottle of whiskey off. And it's like, I'll have a couple of beers to boot, and it's like, our bodies are not meant to have alcohol as such, because it's a poison to our body. And I'm not lecturing anyone. I like a drink like the next person. But I generally have a drink with food, or we had one tonight. We had a beer, didn't we? Was it last night?
Yeah, no, like tonight.
We just had a beer just because we felt like it. But I don't have 7 or 8 beers, or if I have friends around and they're drinking scotch, I'll have scotch, but I have a scotch, and then I have a bottle of water, and then I might have another scotch. That would be me for the night. I've always drunk water between drinks. Yeah, for some people, the only way... There is that old saying, a little bit of everything's not too bad for you. A lot of something is. With some people it's alcohol, with some people it's food, with some people it's said anything. They're addictions as well, or phobias, and they're just as destructive.
Buffering really bad.
And some people have window addictions or fig addictions. We'll be tootling off early tonight. Mind you, we've been on an hour already, I didn't realise.
Yeah, well, the way it's buffering hasn't stopped so far.
I think that's the best way in stopping anything like smoking or alcohol or drugs, is to go cold turkey. I stopped smoking for 11 years. I just put the packet down and never touched it for another 11 years. So I can stop. I know I have that ability, but alcohol's never been a big issue with me. Like if I was sitting around a campfire and people, were playing on the guitar and having a few drinks, I think in my heyday I might have 3 or 4 beers for a whole evening, whereas my mates would drink half a carton.
Each.
And I wouldn't do that. And we've all been there when you've been with friends, and then the alcohol starts to kick in a bigger way, and then abuse comes and fights, and it's just not worth it. Yep, that's the best way to do it. Doesn't mean that you wouldn't mind having one, but it's just inner strength not to do so.
I will never give chocolate up. Oh dear. Oh, it's buffering anyway.
This end light was on till about 7 o'clock this morning.
Really? You must get the most sun then.
Well, it was the darkest area, I think. I was quite surprised.
Wow. Oh, they work well when they're on. Yeah, I know. It's been doing it the last 2 nights. showed my shoes. What are you doing? Windows, oh yes. My hair was sticking up. I should you. Yeah, that gargoyle's cute, eh? Seeds bought that for me. Well, I had that in Mandurah, didn't I?
I think so, yeah.
Show my pink socks. My leg's bad. My sock isn't even showing yet. I know it is. Imp, no, it's a gargoyle, Adam. I'm going to find something else for him to hold because that was a battery operated light which no longer works.
It's very kind of you, Adam.
Except you hurt your shoulder cleaning one window. One window.
Slow me down a little. I'll get better. We'll get back into the last one. Use it?
Wisely.
Yes. You're welcome.
Yes. If he, well, I don't think he can come in this room. I think that's about the only one.
Yeah, I don't know if I've got anyone blocked.
Yeah, I think you've got him. That's it. You're doing a well. I appreciate it. You've got that. Appreciate it.
Keyboard.
Yeah.
Oh, it's whatever. I mean,
I want a purple one.
I'll see if you can get one.
You can't. They're blue.
Well, we are going to toodle off. So, from the cute one,
Good night. I have to go play Yahtzee for a while.
she's a professional Yahtzee player.
Yeah.
Have a good day. Be careful, be safe, be smart, and be kind.